I am the owner and artist behind Brush by Brandy, and I paint here live with you guys every Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're on the West Coast, and so we are going to do some painting tonight. So let's see, my husband Sean is here behind the camera to help us answer any questions. I have one piece of hair that's weird in my face.
I wish I had that problem.
I can see it, but I can't find it.
I have one piece of hair, but that's just on my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a different problem.
The Charlie Brown problem.
Yeah. So let's see. So we're going to do some painting tonight. So the first thing I want to work on with you guys is actually this little desk right here. And I kind of started on it already, but I want to, oh, there it is. I found it. I want to go ahead and show you guys what I'm going to be doing. And then also I want to let you know that Sean will be popping out about halfway through and we're going to get a replacement.
My condolences.
Substitute, a Sean Jr.
Literally.
Literally, Sean made his exact duplicate in a junior. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to work on with you guys is this desk. And this is probably like a 1950s desk. Just really clean straight lines. That's what I wanted it for, because it's totally a blank slate on the front. And it just, right now I've sanded some portions down that I'm going to leave in wood, and I've got some primer on there, but I'm just getting it prepared.
Donna throws me off because she's over on YouTube.
Oh,
all right.
What, Donna? Okay, so what we're going to do to the top of this desk, first let me show you what the problem that I'm having with it, among many things. So this is a really old desk, and I can tell that it's been painted before because in the grain of the wood, it's got paint deep in the grain. I don't know if Sean can
that's
come
what we're
in close and show you guys what I'm looking at here.
Get on
I'm
in your
going to show
business.
you a bunch of damage on the top of this. Okay, so that's the first thing, is deep in the grain. I've got a bunch of paint in the grain of the wood. The other problem I have is it's been refinished before, and somebody blew through the veneer over here. I swear, I promise it wasn't me. I promise it wasn't me, but I've got a spot over here that I can see that the veneer is gone, and it goes down to the pine that's underneath. So that would be a problem. I want to leave this top in wood. I'm determined to make this be a wood stain top. The other problem I have on here is I've got some staining. Like there's an orange spot here. I've got some scratch marks in here. It's just not in good condition. So I did sand it down to see what I was going to be working with, and it's not going to be something that I could just stain and have it be okay. And I probably could. I could put a lot of gel stain on and cover up the grain, and it would work. But what we're going to use tonight is something actually I haven't used on camera before, and it's retiqueit. So retiqueit is liquid wood. And I'm going to basically use it to kind of replace the damaged wood on the top of this piece because I'm still going to stain it. So retiqueit comes in a bunch of different colors. So I've got a couple different color examples here. This is dark wood in this container. This is light wood. I'm choosing light wood because the rest of this desk is pine underneath. And I want, when I stain this, I want it to as closely match the color on the rest of the desk as possible. So that's why, even though I plan to use a pretty dark stain, I'm skipping the dark wood retiqueit and I'm going to go with the light wood. So this stuff is really cool, you guys. It actually is a liquid formula, and it is the color of wood, and it really has stainable wood pulp in there, wood fibers. So I'm going to stir it first. You always want to stir it, and I can see that it kind of starts to settle just sitting on my shelf. Is it really called
wood pulp?
Wood, I don't know, what would you call it?
I'm asking.
Wood. It's, I mean, there's no, like, it's not like orange juice pulp. It's, you know, it doesn't have any texture in the formula. It's very smooth, actually. It's a very smooth liquid.
Hey, Emily.
It's a little bit thick. So let me show you kind of the consistency. If I pull this out of here.
We don't need to see.
It does drip, has enough to drip, but it's a very smooth liquid. And I'm going to basically paint a coat of this onto the top of my desk. I'm going to let it dry, and then I'll sand it a little bit, and I'll be able to stain it. This is totally stainable.
You're like the Headless Horseman right now.
It can also be used to kind of, oh yeah, sorry guys, you're going to not see my head. It can also be used to fill some of the grain, which is kind of what I want to do because I want to cover the grain that's got that old paint sitting inside of it. So because I plan to sand this afterwards, this coat doesn't have to be super smooth or anything like that. The stain that I plan on using is Java Gel Stain from General Finishes. I love their gel stain, hands down the best gel stain out there. And Java is one of their most popular colors, but I want a dark wood on this piece. So I have just a cheap chip brush out. I also have some bowl scrapers so that I can kind of scrape this over the top and move those out of the way. And we're gonna paint on wood.
Let's paint.
Sounds weird, but you guys, if you follow Retiqueit on social media, they've got some great videos with this stuff of all the different uses, and they always amaze me, the stuff that they can do with this. But you could really take any surface and turn it into a wood finish. In my case, I have an existing wood finish. It's just really damaged, and I'm going to use this to camouflage some of that.
Never used Retiqueit. It kind of scares me.
Oh, it shouldn't. Honestly, it's totally just a liquid. I think because, like, you know, anytime you think of wood finishes, you think they're a little bit more complex, but this is really, it's really just goes on like a paint. What I'm doing is I'm just making sure as I do this, as I brush my coat on, I want to fill this grain. The old grain, I definitely want that Retiqueit to settle inside the grain. So I brushed it horizontally. Meaning I'm going like this to kind of push it in, and then I'm going to clean up those brush strokes so they're all running the same way. Because I definitely want to fill all that wood, that old wood grain. I also am going to put it a little bit thicker in the spots where I've got like known scratches.
What's the dry time on this?
So I've had this on here, this other section, I started this first stripe and I did it probably about a half an hour ago. So I'm going to say within about an hour or two, it's going to be dry to the touch. And I could come back and resand it. I'll probably leave this overnight though before I resand it.
There's a good one. Is it self-leveling?
It would be because it's a liquid. If you really just poured it out, it is a liquid. So liquid self-level, right? It's going to find the low points and level itself. My tools are kind of getting in my way, so let me clean this stuff up. I'm mostly just using the chip brush. This stir stick I just used for stirring it. I'm just going to clean off the excess from there. No matter what, it already looks better, and I could leave it like this, but I think I'm going to try to sand it down and see what it looks like. If it doesn't look good with the partial wood, so in theory, in my theory, what that would do is it would leave the Retiqueit in the low points, meaning down in the grain. It's going to camouflage those painted spots, and then on the high points, I would have some of my real wood showing. If that doesn't look good, then I'll just do full Retiqueit on the top of this. And this color is a good match for the pine that's on the rest of this. I did unfortunately have to sand this top down to be able to find out how much damage it had.
Now, if true, Tina said that she looked into this, watched some videos, and it appears that it's only available in the States.
Oh, is that the case? That might be true. It is manufactured in the States. I don't know what their shipping is, but so how it works, you guys, is companies have to have a distributor abroad, meaning somebody that orders it in bulk, and they ship out to international shipping addresses. So if they don't have distribution internationally, then it makes it really hard, and U.S. shipping will be what's available.
Oh, really quick, just for those that aren't listening, does this cover overstaining problems on the top? By the way, that's Sherry.
Oh, that's actually part of what I'm using it for. Is I do have I have some stains in here. Now, if they're really dark stains, like inside some of these drawers, I'm going to actually paper the drawers because one of the drawers has a black ink stain inside of it. So if it's really dark, like I'm using a light wood and I can still see through, you might either need a few coats of it to make it fully opaque. You could also just use a dark stain on it. A dark stain camouflages a lot. It's always easier to go dark with your stain than it is to go lighter. So I'd say if you want fully opaque coverage, you can just apply. You can also, here, I'll show you something else. I don't plan on doing this, but I'm just going to show you what it looks like. You can take a wood graining tool and run this through here. So I'm going to mess this up, so I'm going to have to put it back on, but I'll just show you what the graining tool looks like. Because you can paint underneath, and then you can take, this is a wood graining tool. You can get these on Amazon. They're really easy to find. And you just run it through, put a little bit of pressure on the handle, and rock as you go. And it'll leave a wood grain in there. So I could do something like that, but I actually have real wood under here, so I'm going to try to take advantage of that. And then you want to wash your wood graining tool afterwards. So you can kind of see how rocking it gives me some wood grain. To me, it still looks like a faux grain. Even brushing a brush through it afterwards gives it a little bit more, I don't know, authenticity.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
What?
Oh, calling out Sherry.
So,
she said Jeremy loud and clear.
You guys are going to miss Sean when he leaves tonight, I promise
Wah,
you.
wah, wah.
And you're gonna be sad for all the mean things you say to him.
You may go put that in water.
But you will be able to talk about him behind his back later.
That's fine. It happens all the time here. I'm used to it.
Summertime presents a challenge in that our children are now, we thought, oh, let's try the swim team and see, maybe it'll be a replacement for the summer for water polo. Well, here's what we bought ourselves into. They like swim team and water polo now. All right, I'm doing this front edge.
Oh, a couple over on YouTube, Queensland and Melbourne.
Hey guys, we were just in Melbourne.
You want me to put your tool in water?
Yeah, but hang on, I'll give you this brush too.
Okay.
Okay, I've got a spot over here where actually Sean did a repair for me, and he just put a couple of nails into the surface. So can you guys see I have some divots right here? That's another reason why I want to use the retiqueit. I'm going to use this actually to kind of fill those. So I'm going to put a little bit heavier of a coat in that spot.
I don't really repair things. I just put holes in them.
That's one way to do it. And then I'm going to come back and get this edge, and I'm going to let this dry. And like I said, I plan to sand this down and leave this with a really thin layer of the retiqueit, and just hopefully, in theory, just my good wood will be exposed, and I'll have, you know, the spots that I had damage in, like those holes on that corner, I'll just be left with the retiqueit. So we'll see what it looks like. If it doesn't work, then I will add another coat of the retiqueit, and I'll just have a thicker opaque coat like what I was talking to Sherry about. So, I mean, I just really painted wood on top of this wood desk. But it's a good way for me to camouflage damaged wood and still be able to get a wood top. And I'll back this up in just a minute, and I'll show you what the rest of the wood looks like. This is a pretty close match for color, so in theory, when I stain it, my stain will match on the entire desk. All right, you want to back up a little bit and kind of show what the front looks like versus just that top. So I'm going to have some, these are all going to be stained portions, and it's all pine. Okay, so I want my top to take the stain as similarly to the pine base as possible. I have another treatment plan for the fronts that have primer on them.
All right, so you want me to scoot this one aside?
So that's it, you guys. I just want to show you how that went on and what it looks like.
We're not done.
Yes, no, it's not done.
Just moving piece to
That's
piece.
just what the product looks like going on. Back here, it's pretty dry, and it dries. It's got a really chalky matte finish to it. I can still see my wood underneath. I could probably sand it up a little bit. I think it's going to work. I think this will just leave a thin layer.
What? Now Donna's over on Facebook?
Yeah, I mean, it's nice and smooth, and then I'm going to put my gel stain over the top. One important thing is it does have a label on it that says it's not recommended for use with penetrating stains. So when you go to the hardware store, penetrating stains are your Minwax stains. They'll say penetrating on the container. Gel stain is what you want to look for. So I'm going to be using General Finishes gel stain, and the color that I'm going to use is called Java. The reason you don't want a penetrating stain is gel stains sit on top of the surface more like a paint and less like a penetrating stain. It doesn't penetrate as deeply into the wood. So I'm going to use a gel stain on this one. So I think it's going to work. I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to let this dry, sand it down, and I'll see what that looks like. I can always do a test spot and put my stain on it, and then I can put another coat over the top if I feel like that doesn't work. All right, that's
okay, if I move it?
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to add a little bit more.
That would be no.
Had another divot right here that I'm trying to kind of
Fill?
level off. Yeah, I'm cheating and using this as my wood filler also.
Good?
Yep. All right, so we'll put that to the side, and then I'm going to be doing a paint project on it. Let me find my stool.
Your tiny one? All right, where are we going?
It's not tiny.
It's got a small complex.
Don't size shame my stool.
Okay, here, I'm going to scoot this over.
Are you scooting over? Like that?
What? Huh?
That sounded good.
Yeah. That sounded great. All right, I'm going to go camera to camera, one at a time.
All right, you guys. I'll wait till Sean gets our cameras.
I apologize.
And then we're gonna get a substitute camera guy. You
What?
might notice a change in the voice.
Nah.
You
His
would,
is deeper than mine, I think.
it's basically from behind the camera. We're gonna get Sean in high school. We're gonna get high school Sean.
Nobody wants that.
It's gonna be my 16-year-old son Noah. He's gonna come help me out. He's gotta apparently be chased out of the house.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
I shall return.
Okay, so this project here is a little probably side table or telephone table, and I love the size of this piece, and I'm going to be doing a paint finish on this, and the reason I'm going to do a paint finish on this is because we've got a new release coming from Redesign with Prima next week. So on Monday, I'll be live with you guys to show off a part of the new collection. This will be one of my projects, and I thought you guys might like to see the paint finish go on. And then I've got something stuck in my primer over here. I'm trying to get it out.
Oh, I apologize. Real quick, there was a question. I don't recall who asked as far as the smell from this.
It does have a smell. It's kind of hard to explain. I was trying to identify what it smells like. It's like it's not a chemical-y smell. It's kind of like mud, maybe, like an earthy kind of smell. It's probably the wood pulp and whatever it's mixed in. Whatever the base is, maybe some kind of like acrylic base or something like that. So it does have an odor, but it's not like a strong chemical smell. Have fun. I love you. Have fun.
Air hugs. No, not this. Okay, carry on.
My son's walking through liquid wood right now. I love you. Have fun tonight. Okay. I'll see you when you go home. All right. We're sending one off, getting one back. All right.
As long as you don't mess with the legs, you're good. Okay.
Yeah, you can have a stool if you want.
You're good.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Noah, say hi. Everyone say hi to Noah.
Howdy, y'all.
All right. He's got a super deep voice. It's been a long-standing joke since he was a kid. One of my friends, when he was little, Noah said, "I want to go in the hot tub," and he said, "Did your like 5-year-old son just walk up and say hot tub?" Because he's always been this little kid with the deepest voice. I told him he should be a country singer, but he won't.
Nope.
He won't do it. Okay, so this is my table I'm going to use. I am pulling color inspiration from the transfer that I'm going to be adding on here next week, but you guys won't see that till Monday. So I'll be live on the Redesign with Prima page Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'm going to show you guys that new collection. It's a really pretty collection. That desk will also be another project. So I'll work on them through the weekend, and then by next week I'll have some projects that we'll put, Prima has kind of the decorations that we put on everything. So I'm taking the other products that make the base, like the retiqueit, like the Wisal paint that I'm going to be using tonight, and then I add the decoration on top of that. So it's kind of a fun process. All right, so I've got primer on here. I did miss a spot with my primer apparently, but that's okay because I also have shellac on here. And I put shellac on here because the dead giveaway that you're going to have a bleeder is that your piece is mahogany. And I know this piece is mahogany because inside one of the drawers, it's got a sticker in it that says pure mahogany. Look at how red this wood is. This is the underside of the drawer where there wouldn't be any stain or anything. It's a deep, deep red wood. I can tell this would be a bleeder. So those two signs were enough for me to coat it in shellac, and then I'm using the primer to just give me a uniform color for my paint to go on top of. The color that I'm going to try out on this one is called Thunderstruck. And can you get me a paint can opener, baby?
Oh.
I should have one up here. Just give me that screwdriver right there. Okay, so Thunderstruck is actually kind of a shade of gray, but I actually think it's a really pretty lavender too. So I'm going to use it as a lavender instead of a gray. So I'm going to turn this a little bit. Should put it on my wheel dollies, but I don't have them. So I'm going to use Thunderstruck. I'm going to use Ivory, which is a creamy white. These were both, Ivory and Thunderstruck were both part of the Desert Sunset collection from Wisal. They do periodic limited edition releases. And I like to grab the colors while they're available because it's kind of fun to collect some of those limited edition colors. This is what the Thunderstruck looks like.
All right, we got somebody who bought some Wisal on Amazon. Do you know, they said it feels fake.
Yes.
Do you know if they could get it in Australia?
Amazon or Wisal does not sell on Amazon. So this has been a big problem with fraudulent sellers, international sellers posting on Amazon. Wisal has done as much as they can. They're still working on it, so they have not given up. but to get these fake sellers removed from Amazon, but it's a hard thing to deal with. They don't have a lot of control. They have to go to Amazon and get Amazon to remove them. If you are getting it off Amazon, it's not a legitimate seller. No Wise-Owl seller will sell off Amazon. And what they are is the furniture salve and their brushes they're putting them on Amazon and they've got major flaws in them. So people are getting them and the bristles are falling out. They're not from a legitimate seller. They're being sold from international sources. So you guys know we have, our friends in China and stuff love to copy intellectual property from the US and then use sources like Amazon. And the furniture salve had gone viral. And so they took a bunch of the videos and used them to sell fraudulent copies. Also, what I'm going to say is the fraudulent copies are significantly below market value. So if it seems too good to be true, if you look on the website and it shows something from Wise-Owl for $30 and someone else, if you find it for $10, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. So those are not legitimate sellers. So hopefully you guys can file a claim with Amazon or with your credit card company and get a refund for that and report that seller, you guys, because they're fake. It's a constant problem. It just happened to affect someone that's in the paint world this time. And it's super sad. So just know Wise-Owl is aware of it and they're doing everything they can to get them removed, but there were so many of them and it takes so long for Amazon to respond that in the meantime, those sellers are being allowed to continue. Sorry that happened to somebody. They did post about it in one of their groups. So Wise-Owl has a paint group, you guys, if you're using the paint, it's always a good idea to join the group for the paint brand that you're using because you can go in there and ask questions, see what's going on with the brand, things like that. Man, I feel super bad about that. I haven't posted about it yet, and I probably should go ahead and make a post about it too. And I hadn't heard that it had affected anybody that was any of my followers yet. And so I was being cautiously optimistic, and so I'm super bummed to hear that.
What color are you using right now?
This color is called Thunderstruck, and it's a deep, almost a gray, but it's got some purpley undertones in there, so I'm choosing to use it as a purple. So I just brushed it around the outside. I'm going to add a little bit of a highlight of some ivory in the center. So I'm going to add a little bit of water first, and I'm actually going to brush a diluted coat of the Thunderstruck through that center. So it's a very thin layer. Probably on camera it looks like full coverage, but it's definitely not. And then I'm going to take a separate brush. These are the Klingon S50 that I usually use. And I'm just going to, I just dipped it into my paint. The other thing about the Desert Sunset collection is it was 7 colors and they come in an 8-ounce size. So these are colors you can get in the 8-ounce from Wise-Owl. And then I'm going to brush this into the center. And I'm going to, because I put that diluted coat of the Thunderstruck on there, it's going to give me that soft lavender that I'm after. When you're blending colors together, you have to not just consider what the color is that you're using, but what's it going to make when you mix it with the other color. So, you have to kind of get into your color science here. And if you mix a red and a blue, you're going to get, what do red and blue make?
I think yellow.
You're super good at this.
Yeah.
If you mix a red and a blue together, if you blend them together, you're going to get a purple. So, you have to think about what do colors make. So in this case, I'm using a ivory, which is a shade of white. And when you mix something with white, it makes a pastel version of that color, which is actually what I want. So I'm letting it be a little bit stronger in the center. This is just my first coat. And then I'll kind of blend it around. But I want that kind of softened shade of lavender in the center. Because this is a bow front cabinet and I like when the colors kind of emphasize the bow that's on there. And then while my brush has that shade of lavender in it, I'm going to come in and get this edge. Which it's the shade that's in my brush is the ivory and the Thunderstruck together. And then on the outer edges, I've just got the Thunderstruck, so I'll put that on the outer edges. This drawer edge will need a second coat also, but I try to do these while my paint is wet. It also keeps the paint from adhering. And I can pull this out. And I'm going to paint around this edge. So I do this while my paint is still wet, and that way I don't end up with globs of paint all around my piece. You have
You got your rag.
Yeah, a rag.
I'll give you this.
Hey. Okay. So I'm just going to get this will all take 2 coats as well. And the nice thing is around all these outer edges, it's just going to be the pure thunderstruck.
No, we're not listening to Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
no
can you
way.
hear it?
There's no way.
No, is that your song?
Not
What
for
about
me.
what about when you like you guys like to listen to hype music when you're going to compete?
That's like Taylor Swift.
Oh, Taylor Swift is hype
Yeah,
music?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. We do carpool with all the kids' sports teams, and they'll put on like Katy Perry. What's that? Firework,
Yeah.
and they'll all just sing it in the car. That's their hype music. So the reason that all the kids are doing double sports is because this summer. You want to talk about what's coming up?
What, we got JOs?
What does that mean?
Oh, the Junior Olympics for water polo?
Yeah, so all of my kids should be able to go to the Junior Olympics this summer. And so while we thought we'd get a lightened version, in fact, we get double down version. All right, let me show you guys this. I slid that drawer out and I got some paint onto the side of my drawer. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe the paint off as much as possible so that it doesn't leave a thick mark there. But the beautiful thing about wood drawers is they're fully sandable.
Yep,
So
it's no. My dad's gone for now.
Yes, Sean had to go drop off another child, retrieve another child. One child's at swim, one child's going to water polo. I mean, the summer schedule absolutely stinks for us. And we thought about pulling some out of some activities, but then we realized that it means they can't go to Junior Olympics.
Yep.
So we're going to do it. We're going to somehow muscle up and figure out how to get all of our kids to all of to double sports right now. In fact, we have a coach. Noah's high school coach is actually driving my youngest to his practice tonight. We've got a good community, guys. Makes all the difference in the world. And this summer, let's see, June and July, we'll be at Junior Olympics. They're in California this year. And I'll share. I don't know, it should be kind of exciting to go to Junior Olympics.
Yeah, that would be exciting.
Last year we did, what did we do last year?
What did we do last year? Nationals.
Yeah.
For rowing.
Last year, Noah was rowing, and he made it to the U.S. Rowing Youth Nationals. We did that last summer, and then he switched sports, and so now he's going to, within a year, in a new sport, gets to go to Junior Olympics.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
He takes it really, really seriously. So what did you do today?
Swim.
What did you do yesterday?
Swim in water polo. And
He also made it to the section finals, which is our area high school finals. It's I guess it's not area because the area finals were what got you to section.
Yeah.
It's kind of a regional final for swim. So he made it, which means he's doubling up, and some days he's got swim and water polo all on the same day. All right. So I did the inside of that. I'm gonna leave the drawers out for now since all my frame is wet. Music to your ears, huh? Let's do this. Let's do this side now. So I chose to not strip out. This is an incredibly detailed profile right here. And I think it'll be actually really pretty with just the top in the wood stain color. And I'm choosing to paint right up to the edge of my wood. So I'm just using a steady hand. You can tape it off if you like. I'm going to add some wood stain to the top of this. I haven't decided what color yet. Because this is a mahogany, it's got some red undertones in it, which means dark stains usually work best. If you go with a light stain, you end up having to take out some of the red tones to get it to take the light color. You can use that by putting a little bit of green, like a wash of a green over the top, because green and red counteract each other. So the green will take out the red tones. But I think I might just use a dark stain on this. Do the legs afterwards. I'm just going to go around this outside. Could use a little bit smaller brush for this. The S50 is a little bit large. The S30 is a smaller version of this. Or the F as in Frank 40 would probably be a more appropriate size for this piece. The reason I'm doing this size of piece is because the collection that Prima has coming out on Monday has a transfer that comes in multiple sizes, and I kind of want to show you the different size variations and how they're appropriate for different sizes of pieces. So that's kind of my plan with this, is I'll show you what the smaller version, what size furniture it works for, and then the medium size, and I don't think I'll have one for the larger. All right, so I've got that same area. I'm going to add a little bit of water and just brush through a really diluted coat of that into the center. So when I put my ivory on, it blends into that. Haven't even refilled my brush. Just using whatever paint is left in there, because I really need so little paint just to create this little highlight in the center. And then I'm going to take a dry brush and just kind of work those together. Again, this is my first coat. It'll take a second coat of doing exactly the same process, but my second coat, I'll do it with much more finesse.
Oh, this is taking too long.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you were busy tonight?
Yeah.
Yeah, trust me, you guys. So we'll probably get a kid during summer. We'll probably have a kid helping us because we don't have another driver. That's why, until somebody gets their driver's license.
No.
We're working on it. He's not there yet. He just turned 16.
Eventually.
Yeah, he hasn't had his permit for long enough to go take the driving test. Right. When I'm going down the legs like this, I'm actually going to use a horizontal brush stroke, and then I can clean it up with a vertical. But it's a little easier to hit that narrow space just using that horizontal. And I think I'm going to put some dark feet on this. Maybe some metallic feet. I don't know. This paint gets really nice coverage. So 2 coats of this will do it. So all the way along all this detail. And then I will also flip this piece upside down. I'm going to leave just that bottom probably 3 inches with no color on it. And I'll come back. I think I'm going to put something dark down there. Like a nice dark foot on this so it's nice and dramatic. And my transfer has some lighter colors in it, so it'll show up nice on this dark backdrop.
Yeah, I think the internet might be a little slow. Your voice is apparently matching up with the recording.
Oh, is it? It looks like a dubbed movie.
Oh yeah.
Those are my favorite. So Netflix has taken up getting all the dubbed movies on it, and you can always tell that it's dubbed because you have to watch it for 20 minutes before they say anything, and then their mouth, it's like they want to hide it from you so that you'll be so invested that you'll keep watching. Drives me nuts. All right, we'll do one more side on this.
Is there any time you ever get away with just one coat?
I cannot think of it. I really can't. I can't think of a paint that would give you single coat coverage. I mean, you can get kind of close, but it's going to be like a little bit streaky or a little bit. I mean, even if you're doing like black over a dark wood, you're still going to have spots. I don't think I've ever stopped at one coat. So that's another. Sorry, guys, I'm just flipping this. That's another word of caution. You know, some of brands that say no prep needed and one coat coverage. I mean, yeah, you might, but usually the quality is not there. It's like the paints that say no primer needed. You know, well, you know, it's really hard to say unless they know what you're painting, what you should do to prepare it for paint. We'll do this one last side here. Same process. This color is really pretty. I think it's going to be exactly what I want under that transfer. I'm pulling my color inspiration for the transfer, or from the transfer, which is a great place to start if you're ever stuck on a piece of furniture on where to start with it. You can find an inspiration piece, and that could be, in this case, I'm using a transfer. Oh, I thought you were trying to get my attention.
No.
You're trying to get rid of my attention?
Yeah.
I wish my brush had a longer handle on it because I'm having to dip pretty deep. My paint container is kind of empty, and I don't like when I get all my fingers in the paint, which is when long handle brushes are really nice. So I will flip this upside down and make sure the underside of it looks clean too. I always do the underside of my pieces and look at it from every angle so that it never, you know, surprises a customer when it goes, you know, for pickup or something, and they flip it upside down, and the upside down has spider babies on it, and it's not painted. It doesn't have to be fully painted, but just make sure your edges are nice and clean. And then up here, I'll do this top lip.
Tacos? What?
Sorry, we're not.
I want tacos.
I know you do. That's like his favorite meal. We need to go to the store.
Yeah,
I like tacos, but only if we have like fresh tomatoes, fresh avocados. Like I like all the fixings. My kids just want meat all the time. We had corned beef last night. They love corned beef. But none of them will eat a crock pot meal to save their life. They all are like, gross, Mom.
just put it on the barbecue.
Yeah, everything on the barbecue is okay. All right, and then a little bit of water in the center. I really like the shade of lavender that this is making. So if you're looking for kind of a dusty lavender in the Wise Owl line, it may not be the color you think it is. This is probably what you would consider a gray. You can take your paint colors in it. Even if I wanted to mix this into a dish, I could add this white to it and mix it into a dish and get myself the lavender, and really pretty shade of dusty lavender out of Thunderstruck. All right, so these aren't perfect. It's my dry brush that I'm using just to clean this up a little bit. They don't have to match exactly. It doesn't have to be the, you know, exactly right, because my second coat is what is going to really, that's going to be really where I perfect everything. So this piece, you guys, and the desk, I have a project plan for, and if you guys come to my live on Monday on the Redesign with Prima page, I will have both of these projects, and you'll get to see where I'm going with them. So that's at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. There is an event posted on my page and also on the Redesign with Prima page if you guys want to see that, and you can click interested or going on the event, the Facebook event, and it will send you a reminder.
11 Pacific? Time?
11 Pacific time, 11 a.m. Not p.m., although that would be my preference because I'm a night owl. All right, you guys, so that's pretty much it. That's going to be my color combination. I think I'm going to use carbon for the feet, the little legs, and give this a nice dark foot too. I don't know. I can't decide if I want a dark foot or if I want to do like a gold dipped foot. I do like a gold dipped foot. How do you feel about a gold dipped foot?
I don't know.
Not a fan?
Looks small.
Well, this is for your bedroom.
No, I'm okay.
All right, you guys. So I also put a link in the thread on Facebook. I can add it for you guys over on YouTube too, but I will be coming to the Painters Business Academy in the Atlanta, Georgia area. Gosh, it's coming up fast.
When is that?
It's in June. The end of June, June 28th through 30th. They did just release day tickets. So if you live in the Atlanta area and you were hesitant because you didn't need the lodging portion of it, that's part of the ticket. They did just release day tickets, so where you don't have to have the hotel lodging too. So otherwise, the ticket for that event includes your lodging at the hotel. It includes your breakfast and lunch, and refreshments during the event. It's actually a really, for an inclusive ticket, it's a really good deal. So it would just be travel and then dinners. And that's because usually people like to do their own thing for dinner. They'll go out with friends, or, you know, people will make a group and go do something socially. So, and some of the other guests coming to that event, Annie Sloan's going to be there, Fusion Mineral Paint, Would You Bend, Artistic Painting Studios with their foils will be there. She has foils and rollers and fun stuff. Let's see. I mean, I always forget some. There's no way I can remember all of them. Wise Owl, duh. Wise Owl and Klingon Brushes will be there too. So I'm excited to see both of them. It's going to be a really fun event. It's a multi-brand event, which is a rare thing. It's nice to see all the brands come together and you get to learn about multiple brands instead of some events where you go and it's brand specific. So where it's just geared towards one particular brand. So I put that link up in the post, and you can use the code Brandy, BRANDY, and PBA for Painters Business Academy, and that will give you 5% off at checkout. So I will let you go, you guys. Like I said, come back on Monday and I'll have both of these projects up to date, and we'll continue to work on them a little bit more so you can see where we go. Of course, I will have videos on these for my YouTube channel at a later date to see them all come together. But other than that, you guys have a great weekend. Thank you to Noah.
Whatever.
Thank you to accepting Sean's replacement, you guys. And everyone have a safe weekend, and I will catch you next week.